Well, behind me is my first major top work project. This entire Hayden tree was cut back, way back, and I put like 8 varieties of mangoes on here. And I thought this was going to be my only major top work, and so I wanted to get all of these new varieties in there as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we had something happen last night. This is the entire grafting of K-3 or Kathy on this tree. That whole section just came down. You can tell right here, that's where the break was. And of course, when you have a branch that is mostly lateral, it takes less force to break it than one that's going upright. So that was one factor. Another factor, as you might be able to tell, is that there was some rot in that small branch, and it's because it was an older part of the tree. So there's a little weakness wherever there's that dark brown in the wood. And then we also had rain, and that was a major factor. We didn't have a lot of wind, but the rain was probably a shock to the system of this tree. We hadn't had rain for a while, and so of course the tree takes up as much as it can and sends it to its leaves and fruit. And so suddenly that fruit got heavier and the leaves got heavier. There are, thousands of leaves on that one area. So down it came. We have a lot of green Kathy, and not sure we might sell that for green mangoes. But there are a few pluses to this situation. This branch over here and this one should be really happy. Suddenly they have a lot more sunlight and air circulation, so those fruit should develop really nicely. There's always opportunity to graft into this area. Things will grow toward the sunlight. This area will fill out very quickly. I'm guessing within a year you probably won't even notice that this section was gone. Of course, it probably wouldn't have happened if I trimmed back the branches in that area, kept them short. We did trim this area of the tree. We trimmed pretty much all of the tree, but we didn't do it seriously enough. So unfortunately, this year we've lost a major part of our Kathy production, but just on this tree we have cotton candy here, we have honey kiss, Angie, Juliet, and Jahanger. So we're definitely going to be getting a significant amount of mangoes from this tree. So actually, there's one little graft that I forgot to mention, and that's the one coming right out of this rip. That is orange essence, and even though I'm not seeing fruit on it, I really don't want to cut it off. But I also don't want to have this rip right there. That's just an invitation for rot. Things don't heal as well when they're ripped. Cutting is best. So I'm going to take a compromise here between getting a clean cut and leaving the rip. And I will try and cut most of that rip off, but leave a little bit, and eventually we will have to trim it back to this branch all the way, but I think we'll get a few years out of this situation. For now, I'm going to collect the green Kathy, and we'll see if some people might want some green fruit for pickles. So it's the first week of July, and back in April, this branch came down. You sort of can tell we've been very busy with mango season because we haven't even hauled this branch out yet. That's going to be on the agenda for next week, actually. Going to be chipped up with a bunch of other trimming, but I digress. This big branch came down, and it was K3 or Kathy, so we lost a lot of fruit, and all the fruit that was hanging on that was part of the reason it came down. Also, of course, there was a weak branch, an old sort of halfway rotten branch, and we had a lot of rain and some wind. So that spelled disaster for K3, but the cotton candy over here has been really happy about it. It's getting a lot more sun and air circulation. Also, it's really nice when you go to pick the fruit because you can actually see a lot. So even though we lost this section of tree, we really haven't lost surface area because that side of the cotton candy now gets a lot of sun, and this area also gets a lot of sun. So basically, moving forward, what I'm going to try to do is keep these branches that are going into the sunlight trimmed back, and so that we have like this, one major branch coming out this way and another branch that way, and space in between for air and sunlight.